Hello everybody and welcome to King Joe's. In this long, this is going to be an awful long video. I'm just going to tell you guys right off the bat. I actually had this all broken up. I actually had to reshoot this video, but I'm going to break my comic books up here again because I actually had that order I was telling you about from that wholesale place, from that No Rack, came in and I was very disappointed. I've actually been trying to deal with getting this resolved, but I paid $14 a piece for two vouchers that I ended up having to go. It was from a place called No More Rack. And the voucher was supposed to be for 50 to 75 comic books valued at $550. Here's the thing. I actually printed it out from the web page. And it said it'd give me classic and vintage spanning decades with Spider-Man, Marvel. The comic book's supposed to be worth $550. And I was supposed to get also... It says here, the savings don't stop there. You will also receive an unopened box of 36 unopened packs of great collector cards. Additional Star Wars and Marvel and DC cards. And then it says for 10 people, they would get some like $15,000 for 10 people that bought these. Well, right off the bat, I got 67 comic books that came in the mail. None of them were vintage. All of them altogether probably totaled. I'm going to show them to you. They're not worth more than $210, half of what. I didn't get the 36 packs of cards that they promised me on this voucher, and the loose cards that I ended up getting were two 1991 Marvel Universe cards, two Spider-Man McFarlane 30th anniversary Spider-Man cards, which I already have this set. I bought the boxes when they came out for $25 a box. One Star Wars playing card for the card game, and two Topps Finest Star Wars cards. These cards right here ain't even worth $1. Now, the cards I ended up getting, I'll show you. I ended up getting, here's what I got from this stack. I don't know if it's 67, but here's the cards that I didn't, here's the comics I didn't have for my collection that I got from this lot. And here's the ones I had that, you know, I had. Thor, Sons of Asgard, number 1. New comic. District X, number 12. New. Here's one of the things. What if Captain America had... I have it. It's actually, you know... This is probably like the oldest comic book I got. One of them. Number 44. What of? Mechanix, number 1. NYX, number 2. Yeah. Uncanny X-Men, 322. Web of Spider-Man Annual, number 2. The Darkness 23, Sojourn 26, USA Agent number 3, Tales of Witchblade number 2, Ultimate Electra number 5. Here's another, Marvel Age. They're $1. You can get them probably for 50 cents in some places. Energon, Transformers Energon number 23, Transformers Armada number 4. Transformers War Within, The Dark Ages, issue 5. Now, they're the ones that I got out of the lot that I already had. Then here's the ones I didn't have, but like I said, nothing major. X-Men, Dark X-Men, The Confession, number 1. Batman and Robin Adventures, number 25. Stephen King's The Stand, Captain Trips, number 2. Stephen King's The Stand, American Nightmares, number 1. Dark Avengers, number 15, from The Siege. Here's another decently, Captain America 415. It's like, where's the vintage stuff, Conan 264. X-Force Sex and Violence number 2. Jack Kirby Secret City Saga issue 0. Buck Rogers number 1. The Death-Defying Daredevil number 1 from Dynamite. Red Sonja, She-Devil with a Sword issue 40. The Mighty Thor number 42. Nightcrawler number 8, Coco Gun Bun number 1. This one's actually from AV something or other. This one's from Shanda. Coco Gun Bun number 1, a different issue. Vigilante number 1. Doom War number 6 of 6. Terminator Revolution number 2. Fantastic Four 521. Fantastic Four 501. It's like, where's all the Superman it's like, they're hardly here. It's all... pretty much out of all the 67, I probably got maybe a total of maybe not even a quarter of the books are Marvel and DC. It's all like Aspen, Image. Here's Fathom, number 3. Kiss 4K number 1, Titans number 32, Deadpool number 25, Amazing Fantasy number 8, Superman Batman number 81, Spider-Man Reign, second printing, number 2. It's like, where's the first prints? Wolverine 173. It's like, you know, hey, G.I. Joe Transformers number 1, Generation Hope issue 10, Transformers issue 0, Free Mind issue 6, was this Warlords number 1, Fear Agent issue 7, Origin of Spider-Woman Origin number 1, The First issue 25, Justice Society of America issue 52, Battle of the Planets issue 6, Captain America. This is what? Issue 46. It's like Coyote number 11, Doll and Creature number 3, Marvel Zombies 3 number 1, Taskmaster 1 of 4, Cable number 19, X Factor number 11, Kirby Genesis number 1, Freaks of the Heartland number 4, Phantom Jack number 1. This is just, it's like a pamphlet. It was free, the first cross-gen. And then Penance, Relevance number 505, and Green Arrow number 64. That's what I got for this company for $30 between 20, 30, yeah, 35 bucks between what I paid No More Rack and the $20. That's what I received. Didn't receive the 36 unopened packs yet. I just got an email. He said he's going to mail them to me. I won't know until I get them. And if I get them, I'll post a message. I'll show them off. But I still have another voucher I have to freaking send in. He offered to send me half. I'm dying to see what these cards are going to be, because if the cards are actually worth, makes it worth it, I won't pursue it. But the whole point of the matter, if you saw the ad, it shows vintage, you know, comic books that are like, you know, bronze. I would have been happy if 10 of these books were Bronze Age books. There's no way those 67 books are worth $550. No way in hell. If God came down and parted the sea, it still wouldn't be worth that. But, you know, I got this from NoMoreRack.com. My wife bought some. There's actually some good deals on there. Like, you know, my wife bought, what the hell did my wife buy there? I forgot. My wife's the one who got it, because one of her friends belonged to it on Facebook and got her involved in it. Well, every once in a while, I look through it, and I saw it, and I'm like, hey, comic books. Thought it was a good deal. Ended up biting me in the ass. But then I had to go to another website that was called, where's the name of the website? It's in here. I just got to find it for a second. I should have highlighted it. Okay. Legends Clearinghouse. And I swear to God, back in the day, I saw them, and of course I never bought nothing because I always thought they were ridiculous. And if I knew this, I would never buy from them. I'm dying to see what this guy, if he makes it right, but enough for this one. I'm going to move on to my next one. I'm going to show you some of the stuff I got that came from eBay. All you guys saw how I did my Pee Wee Herman. Well, I was missing a couple figures. Well, here's one thing. Here's one set I got from eBay. I got the King of Cartoons figure, and it came with a Pee Wee Yo-Yo. So I actually need 2 Pee Wee Herman figures now to finish my Pee Wee Herman set. And when I went to 5 and Below, they had no comic books there, because I think me telling everybody about going to buy comic books, I actually went to 2 5 and Belows in the past week, and none of them had comic books now. Well, every time I went there, they used to have stacks that were like this high, and it's like, no, none. So I wonder if I slit my own throat by mentioning it to all you guys, and people just looked at it and just started going there. But I got the game Rengoku 2 for my PSP, and today I actually went to Best Buy, and I picked up the 3D version of the Avengers movie, because eventually I'll get a 3D screen. I'm just buying it in Blu-ray. So I bought the set, and I also bought Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1. But last week I went to the comic book store, and I picked up a weekly haul. Next week I'll go again, but I ended up getting some free card samples. The 4 of them make a picture. So actually I'll have to get some postcard things and throw these in a card binder, in with my Marvel card binders when I get the Marvel cards. But I got Justice League International 12, 11, 10, Red Lanterns 12 and 11, Catwoman issue 0, Catwoman issue 10, Catwoman issue 9, Catwoman issue 8, Catwoman issue 7, and I got Green Lantern issue 5, and for my daughter I got SpongeBob Comics issue 12. I still need, hopefully the guys from the comic book store, they're trying to get me 1 through 6 and issue 9 because they missed 9. And today I got in a package on eBay. So, it's an unboxing video as well. Now this guy I buy, I'm not going to even slit my throat because I buy a lot from this guy. I don't feel like sharing him. Because normally I end up getting the books for 2 for $1. So, sorry if I'm being stingy. But he packs them really well. He always sends me 1 extra comic book too, which is usually the same comic book over and over and over again. In fact, probably in the beginning of the year, I'm probably going to buy a lot of books off this guy and bulk up my collection to trade. I got Weapon X issue 3, Weapon X issue 4, Weapon X issue 5, Weapon X issue 6, Weapon X issue 7, issue 8, issue 9, issue 10, issue 11, issue 12, issue 13, issue 14, issue 15, issue 16, issue 17, issue 18, issue 19, issue 20, issue 21, issue 22, issue 23, issue 24, issue 25, I actually like that cover, issue 26, issue 27, and issue 28. So I got 3 to 28 of Weapon X. Then Sleepwalker, issue 1, issue 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, okay, where's 12? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and he sent me Ultimate X-Men issue 15. And that's what I got from my connection on eBay. Now, I see all you guys, you know, I've been getting a lot of response. I've been posting a lot of stuff on like, I've been trying to get my downstairs done really bad, trying to get all the stuff packed away, moved into the garage, then from the garage to put in the attic. Now, my dad came down last week. We put up 50-some boxes in the attic, and I actually have like 40-some boxes I finished. I actually got a walk room. I can actually get to the back door now, so I can get outside. It's been rough. I've been going through, you know. I actually had a guy email me, you know, send me a message on my mom's Barbie dolls, which I wasn't too thrilled about that, because the guy was like, you know, why the hell are you messing around with the old stuff? You should be buying the newer dolls. And I'm like, dude, in my video I said they were my mom's. My mom passed away 7 years ago, and I actually, you know, I don't want to do Barbies, you know. Actually, I'm surprised when I was doing it I wasn't busting out crying, because I bought most of those for my mom. and my dad. It was rough. I'm starting to get choked up now because my mom was my best friend. In fact, all the comic books, today I got somebody goes, dude, how many comic books you have? Well, I have 80 some boxes filled now. And I wouldn't have any of that stuff if it wasn't for my mom. My dad, now my baseball cards and my card collection, my dad got into with me. So when that comes around, I start posting that. You guys would be amazed that because we were trying to get from my birth year up. So I have like sets from 1970 all the way up, except for the last couple of years. It's not worth it. Everybody now collects stuff, but back to the thing. The guy, I felt like pissed off after I read it. I'm like, if the guy actually watched my video, he would have saw how I said all the dolls were my mom's, right? And they're all over 7 years. You won't see a new Barbie doll except for the Poison Ivy that I bought because I actually thought it was cool, and I figured it'd be cool. I actually would have liked to have gotten the Supergirl, the Batgirl, the Harley Quinn, Supergirl, Batgirl, Harley Quinn. I think there was a Catwoman. I would have liked to have got those dolls for her. But I think I got the Poison Ivy on clearance because that's usually where I buy most of my toys. I've been doing my video because I've been taking them off my bar and I've been putting them against the wall just to get them off the bar so I can actually have, see what I got. I can actually start taking the movies out of the box and just laying them on the bar. Well, like I told you how I bought my comic books. I buy lots. That's how I bought my video games. That's how I buy pretty much everything I own. If I'm looking for a certain movie, I'll buy a lot. You never know. It's like, why pay $20 for something? We can get it in a lot for $20. You can get 3 or 4 other things. Like a lot of my movies, I bought. I wanted. Was it Masters Universe with? No, it was The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. Well, somebody wanted $7 or $8 for it, and I actually got it in a lot with 3 other movies for the same price with shipping. Now, do the math. Now, if you went and bought those other movies, I saved money, and plus I got to see other movies that, hey. Now, if I rented them, I would have to pay for a rental fee. It's like when you're playing cards. Like you're playing rummy. I'll be the perfect example. That's just how I tell everybody if you're going to play rummy, here's how you got to do it. You get dealt 7 cards. All it is called, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's setting up your cards to make the most out of it. That's basically what it is. If you get here like here, pair of 9s, 6, 7 of clubs. Well, of course you're gonna try to keep them because either you can catch the 8, you can lay down 4, right? Or you catch a 9, you can lay down 3. But you would probably discard your lesser cards. Well, it's just like the same thing with when you're going buying. Why spend $10 for a comic book when you can get it in a lot, probably for the same or even cheaper, maybe say $10, but and then after shipping, you increase your collection. You also get a book you really wanted. So if you get some doubles, you might be able to trade them away. You might be able to sell them. I've sold quite a lot of books over the years between Yahoo, Bidville, iOffer. I did sell a couple on eBay, but it's like right now is not really a market really to sell. Right now is a market to buy. People tell you it's a good selling market. They're on crack. The economy sucks. People are limited in money. Right now is not the time. I've bought an autographed cards that book for $200 to $250 for less than $40. That's 20% of what it's worth. Yeah, there are some things that are hot, but most of the time, like here, all these books, 2 for $1, 2 for $1, 2 for $1. Hell, you can't go wrong in comics. 2, 3 for $1. Back, God, when I worked at the jail, that was 2002 to 2004. Actually, 2005 is when I got let go, because that's when I first blew my back on and got operated on and didn't make FMLA leave on time. But I bought a comic book collection off of a guy. The guy was from New York, and I met him the first exit off of PA into New York off of Interstate 84. And I met him there, and I ended up buying Ghost Riders, Spider-Mans, and a whole bunch of comic books. I ended up getting the books out of him at 5 for $1. And I ended up trading most of them away and selling most of them. Like, I ended up getting like 3 copies of Web of Spider-Man #1. I traded one with Mongo Time. My buddy Anthony took one. I think I sold one on probably Bidville back in the day for $15. Now, that ain't good for, that's real good for 5 for $1. But everything's like I said, the cycle. It's called, expanding your chances. Now, like this thing, I ain't happy because, like I said, they advertised $550 worth of comic books, and I didn't even get $200 worth of comic books. In fact, a guy on eBay who I buy from, the last video haul I made with the 2 boxes of the 200 books I got, those 200 books I paid less than $60 for. And that included the shipping. And there's a lot of good books in there. There's a lot of, miniseries. Every cover price in that thing was $2 to $3. And I got them 3 for $1. Now, he's got a lot up now of 100 books again, and I was going through what I got from him. Most of the books that I just got, I just incorporated into my collection from this lot that ain't doubles. He has in his lot. Now, that's why I'm telling. I sent this guy a company. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude, but these books ain't worth half of what you're trying to tell me they are. Now, I'm hoping that the wax box, 36 packs, maybe he'll send me some more comic books to compensate. Maybe he'll send me some older ones, hopefully. I'd be happy if he sent me 2 key issues, and I'd be tickled pink if I got 2 comic books that were worth $20 a piece. Because, you see this picture from the ad, he said, it shows, I think that's what, Amazing X-Men #100. It shows a classic Bronze Age Spider-Man and a Bronze Age Superman. The sad thing is, that Bronze Age Superman is actually one issue I don't have. Now, I get very, very, very upset when dealing with when people don't send me the stuff that's in the ad they promise, because I've been through that with eBay many times. Like I said back in some of my older videos, I actually was buying. I've actually been working on a 1991 Pro Line football autograph set that's at my dad's in our shelving unit, and I think we need 6 cards to finish the 91 and 92 autograph set. We've been working on that since 1991 and 92. And back in the day, eBay used to have it to where you see where people were from. You see their screen name. Now it's like they cover their ass, because people were running up the prices on stuff. People had multiple screen names. People who live close to each other were helping people out. Like the one guy I was bidding against, the one guy who kept upping my bid, I decided to click on his name, and the guy was from Ohio, and the other guy who lived like 2 miles from him, because I did a map search quest from where the guy who was selling it, and I actually researched it, and I actually notified eBay. I said, this is bullshit. I said, the chances of this guy bidding on me who lives a mile away from the other guy, or 2 miles, is ridiculous. Then shortly, like, was it a year or 2 later? No, it's been like you can't see people's screen names. So I get very apprehensive to where, people, jack up, because a lot of people, unless the book's hot, they won't pay ridiculous prices, and the people who usually pay ridiculous prices are people who know people. I actually think that a lot of the prices that go on eBay are inflated, because how can one person get $200 for a Dan Marino 91 Pro Line autograph, and I can buy it for $40? How can one person sell, like, here's the best example. Last year, was right around my birthday last year, and I wanted it, and my dad was like, nah, nah. Well, a guy had to buy it now for the first year CSI autograph set, 22 cards. The guy sold it for $100. The Gil Grissom, what's his name? Oh, Jesus Christ, I watched William Peterson. His autograph alone on eBay goes anywhere from $50 to $100. Well, the whole set for 22 autographs, or whatever the whole set was, sold for $100. Some guy bought it for $105, and it made me sick because after somebody bid on it, the buy it now expired. Now, if my dad let me buy it now, and that would have been my birthday present, I would have got the whole set. But I didn't. In fact, the only major guys I have from that series is George Eads and Eric Zemenza, who plays... George Eads is Nick Stokes, and Eric Zemenza is... Oh, Jesus Christ, I have all the things. In fact, I got to make a list of what seasons I have, because when I went to Best Buy today, they had all the back seasons for $9.99 a season, which I was like, yo, I got to get them. Finish up my collection. Because eventually, when I get all my shelves done, all this will be games, and then all my movies are going to go along the wall. And when that's done, I'll show you my DVD collection, because I was watching Loki Goblin's collection. He has a impressive collection. He's sort of like me. Anything that deals with comic books you try to get, or comic related, or animation related. Like I have a ton of crap. I mean, people have been looking at me like, man, you got a lot of stuff. I'm like, oh, God. And the sad thing is, I'm not even halfway done. And it's like, it's not to brag. It's just, I'm actually disgusted at how much stuff I have, but I don't want to sell it. Like I said, it means a lot to me. My mom bought it for me, my dad. In fact, some of the stuff you'll hear me talk about relatives. People that, my Aunt Margaret, who actually gave me some of those Welch's jars. I have the glasses that I bought over the things. So a lot of those glasses were my mom and my dad's from when they were going out. When I was first married, there used to be a thing like the Looney Tunes glasses. My Aunt Margaret passed away, and I'll never get rid of the stuff. She gave me the 41 World Series brochure, the tickets for that game, the press pins, those Welch's glass jars. I actually have a friend of my dad's when we lived overseas. His name was Dale Barker. He was from the Seattle area. They used to call him Oops. He bought me and my brother the game Megalomania for the Atari 2600, and I still have that game. And every time I look at that, I think of Dale Barker. My cousin Sonny, his name was Michael Muzzo. He liked the idea that I stayed out of trouble and I had a positive hobby. A lot of my relatives, were like, yeah, it's childish, But you know what? I think now they realize it really ain't childish anymore. It's actually a mainstream hobby. People, I don't hunt. I used to go fishing. In fact, last time I went fishing was with my cousin Sonny and my dad, when my dad had his bass boat, and me and my cousin Sonny ended up getting on the subject of politics, and we almost threw each other off the boat. Because even though he was voting for Perot, he was always he always liked to debate. So I took Perot, and of course he had to take the other guys. And we ended up having a debate, and we ended up having a massive argument where it actually was worse than the Raging Cajun stuff, Carville stuff, on point to point. Now, I appreciate, the comments when people say, it brings them back. That's why my buddy Anthony had me share this stuff. And that's why I think I do, because I look at all this stuff and I think about my mom, my family members, when I was a kid, how things were better. How when you're a kid, you don't have to worry about nothing like you do when you're an adult. And people don't realize that. Like, Mongo Stomps, his girlfriend said, why do you collect? You know what? Like, it is. It brings back memories of good times. Sometimes now, like me, I'm starting to cry. It does bring back some sad memories, because my mom would have loved to have been shown on this video. Eventually I'm gonna find a picture of my mom back in the day when I actually did my comic book inventory, and my mom was in the bedroom with me. She'd sit there, and I'd be taping and bagging and boarding my books, and she'd be writing down, the issue number, you know, make sure I knew I had exactly what it was. And it's sad that, you know, there is good news. What I'm saying about me in this room, because there is good news coming. When my mom died, it was because of medical malpractice, and I don't know when it's coming, but according to the lawyer, we're going to be reaching a settlement soon. To tell you the truth, I'd give up everything I have if I had my mom back, and that's the God's truth. She went in for a hysterectomy, and 20 days later, my mom was dead. The doctor clipped her colon, it ruptured, she went septic, and of course, the doctor in the emergency room didn't want to admit her, so she shit blood. And then the doctor, when she went septic, I actually got there. This happened on Friday or Saturday, and I got there on Sunday, and they told me that her kidney function was at 10. And the first thing I said is just common sense: is, why ain't she on dialysis? If her kidneys ain't working, you help them. An hour later, they put her on dialysis, but at that time, her brain function, she became a vegetable. So, okay, back to comics. She loved my comic book collection. In fact, she helped me build this collection. So I would not have these 80 plus boxes. I would not have all these toys you see, these video games, cereal boxes. My mom, you know, got into Barbie, so my mom hoped for grandkids. Which, that's a sore point, because my mom died 18 days before my daughter was born. So, when you see all the, you know, Gary, you know, when people ask, you know, your girlfriend, say, you know, tell them, you know what, it reminds you of your parents. If your mom helped you, you know, like Collector's Intervention, the guy who collected the Flintstone stuff, he collected it because his mom, there was a tie to his mom, and I can understand that. Like me and my wife talk about my mom all the time. I actually, one of the reasons why I married my wife is because my mom loved my wife. My mom hated my last girlfriend, and my last girlfriend fucked me over big. In fact, because of her, I had to declare bankruptcy. In the long run, I had to, you know, forfeit on a loan of a car because she wasn't making the payments on it. I mean, she screwed me over good. She actually lied about being pregnant for 9 months. I was going to school part-time and working a full-time job. So all this crap, you know, happened. And when all this stuff happened, she took my charge card at Sears. She bought a computer, met some guy on the internet, and took off to Virginia. Now she's living in New Mexico with some guy and being mommy to their 2 kids. I'm like, whatever. She wanted to let her be happy. As far as I'm concerned, she should never be a mother at all. I'm very bitter about that. But my mom loved and my wife tells me the truth no matter what. In fact, I'm amazed my wife let me get my movies this week. Because my wife has a point. I collect too much. And it's the truth though. But you know what? I love my superheroes. I think it keeps me grounded, because if I didn't have this, hate to see what I'd be like. Because I don't hunt, because I believe if you're going to kill something, you should eat it, and I don't eat deer meat, even though I've eaten venison once before, actually twice, and once it sucked, and once it was great. But any guys ever want to talk, I keep putting, hoping, Facebook me, Joseph Carnevale. Email me, Yahoo, JPC61570. I know a lot about cards, comics, toys, video games. Like if you watch my one episode about the Xbox, I still can't believe how much they want for certain games on the Sega Genesis and the 32X. I'm like amazed. I got in, like you'll see the videos. I got into everything. I always try to stay apprised of what's what. Hopefully by the end of the year, you're gonna see some new, finishing off some toy hobbies. You know, put them in together. Boom, done. I'll have complete runs and collections of certain series. So, Captain Strangelove, if you're watching this, I hope your knee gets, that's better. Like I posted you. I do wish they made comic books for kids. I'm glad you give comic books for kids for Halloween. I actually donated a few hundred for the Millville area Rocket to Reading, like I told you, but I actually had to make sure that they were all what was it, Comic Authority approved, because of the fact of the matter that now comic books aren't for little kids. I got to make sure there was no cursing in it, no vulgarity, no sexual, So I basically had to get all the ones that were probably pre-1999 or 98, but I ended up having a few, almost, at least easily 150 books I donated. And the principal, what's his name? God, his wife's the other kindergarten teacher. Callie! What's the principal's name for Millville? What's the principal's name for Millville? Fetterman, Mr. Fetterman. How can I? Because my daughter was infatuated with his wife. She was the other one of 3 kindergarten teachers. My daughter was in Miss Coleman's class, and she kept saying, "I like Mrs. Fetterman." And I'm like, "Oh God." She wanted to be a honeybee so bad because Mrs. Deal was monkeys, Mrs. Fetterman was honeybees, and Mrs. Coleman was frogs. And of course, my daughter was a frog, and Mrs. Fetterman were honeybees. And Mrs. Fetterman, I was like, "Oh God." But Mr. Fetterman is the principal of the school, and he was thrilled. And according to the librarian, which I saw a couple months later, the kids loved him. And that's the thing I wish that comic books, because I go to comic book shops, I never see little kids there. In fact, when I went and bought these books, my daughter was the only one in the bloody shop as a kid. A guy who I buy cards from in Scranton, who owns a shop, he has a coin shop. It's called Mace Money Mart. He sells coins, baseball cards, non-sports cards. If you're ever in the Scranton area, check and go see Carl. He's a great guy. He's an honest guy. I always give him thumbs up. Carl Barbini used to tell me when at the end of because he also sells some older comics, but they're on the shelf. He said back when school used to get out, that place between selling cards and comic books, you couldn't move when school get out. Now he's lucky he gets 1 kid in there a week. And this is a guy who's been in business since, God, the early 80s. So that just tells you, where the market is. It is sad because we're killing the hobby for the next generation and generations to come. And I wish people would realize that. But a lot of people tell me, they give me this. And I don't know what I'm talking about. I go to these shows. I go to these, unless the person makes buku bucks and their parents can, and they don't really care what their kid reads, yeah, then it's fine. But you should always monitor what your kid, they should have it to where all these are kids oriented. If not, they should have a line for adults and a line for kids. That's my opinion. And as always, please feel free to let me know, talk to me, send me messages. Because it'll probably be a while before I do another update, because I really have nothing coming. I have 2 sets of Justice League figures coming in the mail from eBay. I have to do this other voucher. Next week I'll go pick up some more books from the comic book store. I actually need another comic book box. I actually have 3 boxes of books that I actually have to probably have to put an order in for a couple thousand backboards and boards again, after I just bought 2,000 bags and boards and 300 dividers. Probably by the beginning of the year, I'll probably have to buy another 2,000 or 3,000 bags and boards and probably a few thousand dividers, because I didn't even touch doing it. But this is going to be one thing that gets done. I'll let you guys know how things are going. Eventually, when I get the garage set up, where all my doubles are, I'll show you my display case, because that's where I've been sticking stuff, because I'm going to get that lighted up, have it wired. All the card racks, I put up the 3 card racks, get some bookshelves up there to put some. I have so much card, it's ridiculous. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Next time I do, I'll have the shout outs for the guys who new subscribe, because I got a bunch of new subscribers. 9 new people subscribe to me. I appreciate it, but I don't have the list of who they are in front of me, because this video was supposed to be, talking about what's going on. I sort of got sidetracked. So, as always, I thank you guys.